Hey everyone, welcome back to another installment of the IronHike Endurance Series podcast. Today we have a special guest, Paul Laedke. Paul's one of the founding members of veterans and first responder organization in Connecticut called Second Go. And today Paul's going to tell us a little bit about his organization. He's also a repeat participant in the IronHike series, and his organization and our organization are partnered in that they are our partner charity. And so, having said that, we have fundraising opportunities for them. His veteran and first responder members, we give them either a very discounted or at no cost registration. So if you're interested in that, you hit Paul up. But with that, I'm going to introduce you to Paul. You know Scott Festa up there,
Hey,
Dr. Festa, the first Olympus Mons finisher. And and by the way, over here, if you're watching this on YouTube, somewhere down here or up there, there's a podcast with Scott that's about 22 minutes long where he talks about the Olympus Mons endeavor and what it took to finish. So with that, Paul, welcome.
Thank you, John. Thank you, Scott. Nice to see you guys again. Looking forward to seeing you in person in a few weeks.
Again in October.
Yeah, can't wait.
So here, let me scroll through your photos and we'll start there. These are photos from June of this year. This is Paul and
oh, my backside. That's the best part right there.
Yeah, there's some good pictures of you. And there you are finishing and ringing the bell. There you are with your mountain crusher face. So you know that guy right there. He's on the call with us.
Oh, yeah.
We just talked to Dave. So what a great event. It was great to have you. It's always good to partner with you. So tell us a little bit about Second Go and about endurance and motion and how it's been part of your life.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of connectivity there. Second Go was actually born out of a need for movement and the therapeutic results that movement comes along. Tons and tons of research out there about sound body, sound mind, the correlation between mental and physical health. But for the last 30 years of my life, I've had a really close friend. We started off serving in the Army National Guard together, and he went into the Coast Guard. And time, kind of ebb and flow of life. We would occasionally set challenges for each other to kind of check our physical fitness level and, how killable we were. We found ourselves about a decade ago, heavy, overweight, not feeling so great. My buddy was getting close to finishing his time in the Coast Guard. And, I think when you have something that is part of your identity for so long, you start questioning a lot of things. And along the route, these physical challenges kind of always been what has kept us sane, given us some, solitude whenever we had something to be looking forward to or putting on, as you affectionately call the giddy up calendar. It started off with some long distance relays. It turned into some hiking. Always trying to one up each other. Whenever we would do a relay, we always were trying to, we'd have whoever had the longest total mileage would be, given kudos. So we'd always be vying for that. And we've done a lot of support for nonprofits over the years. I won't name them, but they were typically military connected in some way, shape, or form. And we started wondering where the money was going that we were raising. And we never really saw it. The impact. I know there is impact for sure, 100%, but we never really witnessed it in our community. So as my friend was ending his service and we started thinking about how we could continue building community, we could continue encouraging and facilitating physical movement because of the rewarding mental health that was involved along with it. We started kicking around an idea of creating a 501c3 that really just focused in on movement and what we could do to get people out, moving out of their comfort zone, whether it was a run, a walk, a hike, a trot, a rock, kayaking. So my buddy Nick Nunnally and I, along with another guy, Jason Colbreth, who is a Navy veteran and firefighter, decided we would create this nonprofit. So we hatched this name, Second Go, because we were like, hey, this is our next purpose. This is our second go at it.
Yeah.
And that's how it was born. So our mission is to build community that's everlasting. It's not tied to a moment in life. It's not tied to a duty station or a company or any of that. That really relies on physical movement to create camaraderie, to develop bonds, and we sprinkle a little bit of service in there too, where we take on a couple of different projects, whether it's an elderly veteran in our community or we partner with the local Habitat for Humanity on a project. So there's two pieces there. We noticed whenever we were moving, we were feeling much better, and we also recognized our passion to be in the service of others. So those are really the two components that kind of fueled our movement forward and trying to establish a nonprofit that would do just that. So encourage people to continue serving in some capacity and also encourage movement, because it's clear how much better we felt as a result. So we're just trying to spread that.
Yeah, it's awesome. Thank you for sharing that
Yeah.
that story. So if people can donate through us, but they can also donate directly. If someone's interested in
Sure.
donating or reaching out to you, what's the best way for them to find you?
Yeah, I mean, the best way is www.2ndgo.org. We're a 501c3 nationally recognized nonprofit, so any donation is a tax deductible donation. We are in our 5th year as an organization and still feel like we're crawling a little bit.
Yeah.
Every moment we continue to crawl, we're getting a little further. So, you have to crawl before you walk and before you run, and hopefully at some point we're sprinting. So yeah, www.secondgo.org. It'll have information where, via email. There's a donation page in the top right-hand corner too. If you click donate, it'll give you a bunch of different options, whether it's a one-time or, continuous, monthly, bi-monthly, however people want to set it up. And we also have all of our social media contact information on there too. So we're always encouraging people to follow us. Nice way to stay current on what's going on. And there should also be a sign up for our newsletter on the webpage. And we try to push that out, on a monthly basis, but it really ends up turning out to be seasonal, with kind of a projection of some of the things that are going on in the months to come.
Yeah, appreciate that. So we also, as a partner, as people register for our event series, when they finish registering, the confirmation email, if you're going to register, there's a link in there to donate to Paul's organization, to Second Go. And also Paul is usually at every one of our events. So, so feel free to show up with your wallet kind of cracked open, and every little bit helps, right?
That's right.
That we just started a Patreon. We have a Patreon membership, and several of the memberships, if you're interested at our website, there's a Patreon membership page. Will go to funding registrations for veterans and first responders.
Awesome.
as well. So how did you find out about us? Tell us that backstory. Like,
so
finding each other?
Well, probably more than a decade ago now, I met this incredible individual, Ian Hockley, father of Dylan Hockley, one of the young kids that unfortunately lost their lives during Sandy Hook. And, Ian is by far one of the greatest human beings I've ever met in my life.
I had the honor of being able to talk to him.
I'm very fortunate to have been able to have him in my life. He created this program for training kids in schools on developing empathy. And, my middle school that I had worked at was the pilot school that helped build this program out that now has become nationally recognized and is in, dozens and dozens and dozens of schools and a variety of other capacities too. They have running clubs for elementary school kids. It's just outstanding program that really he took his grief and turned it into a passion where he's honoring his son's life, every breath that he's taking. And, like I said, I'm absolutely just so fortunate to have known, to have met him and had a contact in with him. But, so he's actually the one that connected us. He, sent me a text or rang me and just said, "Hey, Paul, I met this guy that is creating this new endurance event, and he's looking for local charities to kind of, develop along with. And I think it'd be great. He was in the military. All the guys involved were in the military. I think it's a great fit." So, we he was the facilitator really, and initially, connected, me with you, John. So that was, incredible, especially because you often don't see nonprofits looking to help other nonprofits. And
He's an amazing human
yeah,
being.
and it truly shows just how incredible he is, because there was probably absolutely zero hesitation. He was just like, "Oh, I know somebody," and that was it. And it went from there, because again, he is one of the most special humans that I know.
So on the topic of Ian, right? So he reached out to me. He is part of a running club, and he loves running. And running is a way that he dealt with a lot of his grief. And so he has very organized connections to running. And he found out that we're building this thing. And I don't know how he found me. Maybe he found me online. Maybe he found the website. I don't remember. But no. Actually, there was a local newspaper in Connecticut that was going to write a story about us, and they did, and they know Ian, and then they made the introduction. So
okay,
we talked, loved what he was doing, really sad about his story, but I felt really honored that somebody he's a very powerful human being. Like when you talk to the guy, he's just different, right? And he went through the grief, and he came out the other side, and he's enhancing his community, changing the world in many ways, and in several ways. And so anyway, he wrote a blog for us, and it's what I'm sharing here on the screen is, if you go to our website and you go to our blog page, there's a very interesting blog about his history, and there he is right there, handsome fella. So I highly recommend you go read that blog at our website. That's how we got connected. And so then tell us a little bit about your first impression of us when you showed up and started doing these things with us, and and your impressions of the event series.
Yeah, well, I mean, I absolutely love a challenge. I probably, I'm trying to be a little more realistic with the types of challenges I accept, but this whole premise of creating an opportunity for the everyday person to experience this level of an endurance challenge, caught my eye. I love the long distance relays. I love the team type of setting. So, initially we were that first event, the kickoff inaugural event. We were planning to do it as a foursome, and as the day arrived, we kind of shifted to each individually taking it on. But my first impression was, there was a lot of heart and thought going into this. It was really thought through. There was, a clear vision as to what the ultimate outcome was. And it wasn't one of those, "Oh, we need to hurry up and get there today." It was, you were really articulate in describing the projected growth of the organization, of the event, the desired outcome long term, the impact that it would have on individuals, sharing your story of how hiking really was, therapy in some way. And I'm always, when I go hiking, I always put the hashtag trail therapy, because I really feel like I mean, it's serene. I feel close to, I'm not going to say God, but whatever there is that's a higher power than me. And not that I don't believe in God, but I just, definitely this incredible feeling being out there. So, kind of connecting that piece and the history that you experienced and articulated, and then being on the ground there and going up and down that mountain over and over with, little to no rest. And even though, I'll be honest, I took on the shortest elevation climb, and I'll probably continue doing that. It was still a challenge, and it was still something at the end that I was like, I just did that. And I think one of the things that stands out the most is that, I met a couple dozen different people during the course of the day, and immediately there was a sense of camaraderie. There was a sense of brotherhood and shared suffering, and I think that's like a key takeaway, that shared suffering, no matter what distance you're going, whatever shape you're in, you're all trekking on the same trail. You're all kind of reassuring each other.
You gotta get up there.
Everybody's doing the same up.
Yeah.
It's your up is no harder than my up. And not mine is no harder than yours. Everyone's doing the same up. Yeah.
It gets you, and I mean, obviously Scott knows because he killed it. But yeah, I mean that for me, that first impression of really, and you said Dan Darcy, and what a great, sorry, Dave. Why do I must know a Dan Darcy. That's why I keep jumping in my head. Dave right away, really encouraging, kind of, prompting.
Such a great guy.
Moving, the energy was just, he's got a really unique, cool energy about him for sure. But again, falling back to that sense of camaraderie, the brotherhood, the shared suffering, right? Sorry, that is probably the thing that matters most when I show up somewhere. If that's apparent, if people that are there, want to be there, and they want everyone else to be there too. It's not just hey, I'm out for me, I'm going to go finish this and knock it out. Hey, there's something with that shared suffering that ends up being, shared success. And that's pretty cool. But just a really nice vibe, a chill vibe. I didn't feel as though any was being pressured in any particular way. I didn't feel like it was like, oh, hurry up, we got to get this, we got to do this. It just was really relaxed. It allowed me to experience it, how I wanted to experience it. And I think that is probably could be echoed from really anyone that would talk about their experience over the last two events is, they showed up, they were able to experience how they wanted to experience it, and then carry on.
I think it's a testament to you and to the event in and of itself is that every podcast we have done, shared suffering camaraderie is the common thing. Yeah. That's the common thing in all of it. And you can say what you want, about this event or that event, or I did this one and you did that one and John did this one, but it's the same up for everybody, and it's the common theme on every podcast is shared suffering. So yeah,
it is. And in fact, we have revamped the format. So right now we have what we call an all start and staggered finish. And we're switching it now to a staggered start and an all finish. And so like the most elite attempts from people who are trying to do the 82-hour Olympus Mons event, they're going to start on Thursday. And the Everest events are going to start Thursday night. Those are the 72-hour people. And then the people that are doing Denali, the 48-hour experience, they're all going to start on Friday. And then Double Dome's going to start on Saturday. And everyone's finish time now in 2025 after this October.
In theory, it's the same.
Is 7 p.m. on Sunday. And so what you're going to have is you're going to have this camaraderie that grows and grows and grows and grows and grows, and more people getting on the trail, more and more people showing up, more and more people all shooting for 7 p.m. on Sunday. And everyone that is going to finish together around 7 p.m. on Sunday. And they're all going to have encouraged and helped each other. So we're really excited about that. We flipped it so that it encourages what are we calling it? The suffering together, the artificial,
the shared suffering,
and
that's a hat, that's a shirt.
That's a new hashtag for us, I think. But so Paul, you're coming out in October. We did a cool thing last time. We had a raffle. I just want to encourage people that Paul's organization is doing good things for people in his community. It's doing great things for first responders, for veterans. Cost is not an issue when it comes to getting first responders or veterans on the course. Like, if you want to do this and you can't come up with enough money to register, just let us know. We're going to figure it out for you. Like, if the only thing keeping you from being on the mountain with us is price, that's not a good enough reason.
That's right.
We'll work with you on that. And Paul will tell you that we have a history of making it super easy, super affordable for some people. And yet other people don't mind paying full price because they want to be supportive, or they can, or whatever. But price isn't an option, or isn't an impediment to get on the mountain with us. So, Paul, what would you say to any veterans, first responders, policemen, firemen, EMTs that want to come do this? What's your suggestion?
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion is make it a team event. That way, you're not just showing up on your own. You already have your shared suffering squad with you. And, if price is prohibitive, reach out to either myself or to John directly. Obviously, you can go and check out all the social medias with IronHike Productions. You can find this guy fairly quickly online. But we'll figure out a way. One of the things that, for Second Go, essentially every single dollar that comes into our organization and our website maintenance fees goes back into the hands of veterans and first responders. Over the last 4 years, we've probably easily, I'd have to verify, but we've certainly brought along about 100 participants, either registration fee to a variety of events or at a discounted rate.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, we're crawling. We're not a huge organization. We're not pulling in hundreds of thousands of dollars, but the priority is to get people moving. So every dollar that comes in really is earmarked for that. There's, we're not taking a pay with any salary or anything like that.
Yeah, of course. No, it
feeds back to the people that are most important, those that are serving.
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. So you mentioned bring your crew, bring your tribe. Like, we're all about tribe building here too. One of the things I wanted to point out though is in addition to having 5 separate events within the series, all at different elevations. These are all elevation-based events. These are not races. If this is your first time hearing about us, it's you against the clock. So you got 12 hours to finish 15 miles, for example. It's not you against anybody else. It's you against you against the clock, and you against the mountain. And you're alone in it, but you're together with everyone else who has that same goal of doing what you're doing, but it might be longer, it might be shorter. But they're doing the same thing you're doing. They're pushing themselves past their comfort zone and their limits. In addition to that, we've sliced it into 3 formats. You can go it alone as an individual. You can trek with a trail buddy, which means, like, if you got to do 12 laps, your team has to do 12 laps. So you could do it together, or he could do 6, or she can do 6, and then you do 6. And then we have what we call a trail team, and it's organized in what we call a flex relay, which is relatively new because you're going to get to decide who does however many laps. So it might be that Paul's in better shape than me, and he decides he's going to do 8 laps, and we're trail buddied in a flex relay, and I'm going to do 4 because I'm not in as good a shape as Paul. That's completely allowable. That's completely manageable by your team. So flex relay, trail team of 4, trail buddies, or individual. So we really open it up so that you almost have no excuse, right? Like, the problem with Ragnar, for example.
Well, here you go. Ready? Just what the shirt says.
That's right. Listen. So you've done a lot of Ragnar. So problem with Ragnar and other relays, like, I've done a lot of triathloning in my life, the sprint triathlons. I want to do the relay, but I can't find someone that's comfortable with swimming the distance. I can't find someone who's comfortable with the 10K. And so if you don't have 3 friends that are in super good shape, only 2 of you are in shape, you can still come do this. And the people that are in shape just do a little more than the people who aren't. Everyone gets to show up and do it, right?
Yeah, so, for sure.
That's what the flex relay is all about. So we've done everything we can to eliminate all of your excuses, including cost. So come join us and reach out to Paul. And
really no reason not to be there.
That's right. That's right. All right. We appreciate you, man. We'll see you in October. And yeah, thanks for checking in with us.
Of course, always. Thanks, John. Nice seeing you,
All
Scott.
right. See you on the mountain.
Have a good one, Paul.
All right,
Thanks.
be well.
Bye.
Bye, John.